Marina.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Stardust Show. This is Dr. Marina Nani, and I have the privilege of co hosting today's show with an amazing woman, and she is going to tell us all about her passion. Georgina, over to you. Tell us when you started your journey, what brought you where you are in your life right now.
Okay, thank you very much, Marina. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us. Okay, my passion started 10 years ago where my life was completely thrown upside down when I suffered a severe brain hemorrhage, which, as I say, completely threw my everyday normal life into complete and utter chaos and a nightmare, if I'm totally honest. I want to speak about this because I'm one of the lucky ones. I've managed to return to some semblance of normality in my life, but it's been a hard journey, and I'm sure that there are many people out there who've suffered something similar, who are perhaps feeling that there's nowhere to go, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. And I just want to let everybody know that with determination, faith and strength, and a large dose of a good sense of humour, there is life following a brain hemorrhage. Over to you, Marina.
Wow, it's it's very hard to follow up on that. So there is life, and you discover there is your second chance. And as a result of becoming aware of how precious life is, you made changes and you live by those changes. And now you could help other people. So what were the changes you had to implement in your day-to-day life to be able to survive and to be able to benefit from this gift called life?
Well, the first thing was obviously appreciating that every day is a gift. And I think if you move forward with that sense of gratitude in your life and what you have, that's a good start, because many aren't so fortunate. In my particular case, the brain hemorrhage, where it was positioned, 76% of people don't survive. I survived that. I was one of those lucky few that did. So if that's not saying that actually I need to use that to my advantage and to the advantage of other people, then I don't know what is. There is no bigger sign, is there really? It's hard to describe. You just have a different perspective. Things that once
So the transmission was interrupted, but we are going to have Georgina back shortly. So if you are listening and you've been given the second chance, or you are hoping to be given the second chance, please connect with us. Please share your story, because Georgina's story is the proof that there is life. Life is a gift, and you have to embrace it with your both hands, and you have to support each other and celebrate each other's life, because this is all we are is everything we have. Georgina, over to you. We are trying to bring Georgina back, and in the meantime, I would like to just tell you a little bit more about second chances. And ask yourself, actually, I want you to ask yourself, what would you do with a second chance? If the second chance is given to you, what would you do about it? That is very hard to connect the dots, and looking forward when you are one of the few people. You heard what Georgina said, only 70, I mean, the percentage is quite low of the people who survive this kind of accidents. It is very hard to decide what is your way forward. And from what I understood from Georgina, she decided to start from what she wants, and she wants to help others and to gain the strength to trust that those dots will connect in the future. And there is something you have to trust, is something you have to trust in. Georgina, over to you.
Hi Marina, apologies, the wonders of modern technology. I'm back again.
Thank you.
Apologies to everybody watching, listening for that interruption. As I was saying, yeah, I feel that the thing that I noticed was I was somewhere in the middle of the spectrum of the severity of the brain hemorrhage. I spent 2 months in hospital following the brain hemorrhage, where I basically had to start all over again. I had to learn to walk, to talk, to feed myself, the basics. I had to work hard at getting back. I was one of the fortunate ones because there were people in my ward who were on breathing apparatus because they couldn't breathe for themselves. But when I left hospital after 2 months, the support that was offered, yes, I had counselling because I unfortunately experienced PTSD, which isn't uncommon in brain hemorrhage patients. But for the day-to-day living of coming back into the family life with 2 small children who didn't really understand what had happened to mummy, also normal things of just popping to Tesco for a pint of milk was totally overwhelming, which I couldn't get my head around because on the surface I looked normal, you know, and nobody to look at me would appreciate that I had had a brain hemorrhage, but inside my brain was basically mush. I couldn't separate dark clothing from light clothing to do a wash. I was totally reliant on my fabulous friends and family who just all rallied round to take the pressure off me. And I think in a humorous but not grim sort of way, I want to let people know that if they're affected by the type of hemorrhage that I had, whether it be themselves personally or a relative, that they can get through it, and with sheer grit and determination you can have a normal life again. I am now a single mum of 2 teenagers working full-time. Yes, it's hard, yes, I get extremely tired, but I'm living a more beneficial life. I feel I'm living my life's purpose now.
Wow.
Back to you, Marina.
Thank you so much, Georgina. I was thinking, you got so much energy now, and you are doing tender loving care project in your house. You are decorating, and I saw the parties in the living room, and
Yes.
the colors you are choosing, and that makes me think that actually you treat your life like a masterpiece, but it's a blank canvas. So you start painting again, but this time seems that you are choosing different colors. You are choosing a vibrant life. You are not in for for taking for granted anything. You know what you want. You want to have a better life than before. You want to be there for your children, for the people who need you the most, and you are now ready to go.
Most definitely, Marina. I think one of the questions I was asked quite frequently was, well, you really must know what you want in life now. And my answer was, no, I don't know what I want in life now, but I do know what I don't want. And there's a big difference. And as you correctly say, we create this masterpiece. We are the authors of our own story. And you have to make the conscious decision to move forward, or you allow it to hold you back. And unfortunately, that's not me. That's not me. You get one shot. Let's make it count.
Wow. it's almost unbearable to think what could happen if, just like that, you have an accident and you are gone. And then what could happen when you are back, because this time around, you know you are here for a reason. You know you are going to value every single moment. And you know, Georgina, most people I listen to, I love to listen to people's stories. And most people who struggle with their life are the people who live in the past, people who can't enjoy the present moment. Have you ever had that struggle yourself?
Yes, I'll be honest with you. Yes, there was a time when I felt completely and utterly useless and helpless, because I had to adapt to the way I was following the brain hemorrhage. It wasn't me. I wouldn't say I had a complete personality change, but something changed within me. And I made the conscious choice that, okay, these are the cards I've been dealt, and I have two choices. I either live with that and allow it to drag me down, or I embrace the change that it gave me. And I chose the latter. And I'm so proud of myself for doing that.
I remember seeing a little post on your Facebook saying that I live in the moment, won't rush things and won't take them for granted either. Life isn't a competition. It's a beautiful adventure, best taken at your own pace. So knowing this, knowing that you hold in your heart this desire to explore life, and knowing that life for you now is an adventure, what is happening in your life right now and is exciting, and you want to break the news and let us celebrate together with you?
Well, obviously this is a big first for me, talking live on radio, which is something I never in my wildest imagination dreamt I would do. But short term, I would like to write a book about what's happened to me, but from a very humorous side. I love to laugh, and I think you can cure a lot of problems by looking at the positive and turning into the negatives into something humorous. I would like to write an uplifting guide for people affected in the way that I've been affected, that gives them hope, gives them strength. And long term, I would love to look at perhaps forming some kind of charity that, yes, there are amazing charities for brain trauma victims, but they tend to be at the top end of the spectrum, who have perhaps been left permanently disabled, or not able to maintain a day-to-day life. But I would like to perhaps form a charity that just offers support for people who were in my situation and feel a little bit overwhelmed.
It's a beautiful vision you have for yourself and for other people like yourself who now perhaps need to stop joking about life and start having a laugh.
I think so.
I believe that laughter is the best medicine.
Yes, yeah.
There are true, real health benefits in humor.
Definitely, definitely. Humour has got me through some very sticky, dark situations.
So I think people feel there is too much judgment in our modern society, and it's very little joy. And I feel that comedy and laughter and having being in a good spirit is contagious. When it's almost like when you smile, the world smiles back to you. So
Definitely.
what would be just imagine you are writing now in your book. What would be a good reason to make us laugh?
It's a dark subject. To be as close to death as I came, and to have to bring myself back from that. It's a dark place. People don't want, you know, in the world today, there's enough sadness. People don't want to read about it as well. They want the humour, the situations that they may find themselves in following a brain hemorrhage. You know, all they say when you have a child, all your dignity goes out the window. But trust me, when you have a brain hemorrhage, all your dignity goes out the window. And that's something I can look back on now and actually laugh about. And I would just like to bring that to other people, to recognise that every step they take is not just a step, it's a milestone on the road to recovery and to going back to leading a more fulfilled life.
So in many ways, you want to give back the power people lost when they've been through a bad experience or when they struggle. You want to educate others. And yes. For you, medicine starts with laughter. And you believe that this is a very solid treatment. Laughter could be a way for people to start feeling better about themselves, to embrace their truth, to accept their circumstances. And most of the time, and you are so right, you know, most of the time it's next to impossible to change your circumstances, but you still have something very powerful. You have your words, but now you are saying, I have my words and I have my laughter, which is so much more you know, enlightening. It makes total sense to me now, thinking that yes, it is the way to give my own power back and have hopes and connect with people who wants to be with miserable people, you know. And it's almost like you do this magic choice, you make this magic choice to discover the sunny and funny side of things. So it is a very realistic concept if you want to raise your self-esteem and self-worth in a very friendly environment. So what would your charity do?
It would just offer perhaps that support, whether it be via video calling or telephoning, just someone at the end of the line who will say, okay, what's happened? Why are you feeling the way you do? And perhaps turning it on its head slightly, if that makes sense. For example, when I was in hospital, it was 5 weeks before I was allowed to sit up in bed, let alone get out of bed. And once I had recovered from the enormity of what had happened to me, I used to joke with the nurses, and I used to say, it is impossible to go to the toilet lying down.
Yes,
And they used to laugh at me, and they used to say, and then they used to bring me a bedpan, and they used to say, you know, let us know when you finish. But I would sneakily sit on the edge of the bed and then get back into bed and pretend that and this went on for a week or so. And the nurses then finally said to me, look, we know what you're doing. And I said, yes, but it is impossible. Gravity doesn't work like that.
So I think this is a very good book title, Georgina. Gravity doesn't work like that.
Possibly. But yeah, I mean, things like that. That, as I say, is how I coped with that. It's by laughing about it. I knew I would be in trouble, because I wasn't supposed to move out of bed. But it was the only way I could wee. So,
you know, on that note, Georgina, Philip Chan
yes,
nominated you for the Stardust Awards, and I really hope you'll be joining us on the red carpet to receive your awards on 18, 19 of November in London. And you'll make us laugh. You'll make the whole room, hundreds of people, laughing, because I think it is time for somebody to remind us, you are free to laugh, and gravity doesn't work that way.
No, and maybe that is a good book title. But thank you so much, Marina. And I really hope that, if nothing else, if people can't relate to the circumstances, they can relate to the passion and the determination to make people laugh.
Beautiful. Georgina, I have to say this. You are stardust. From both of us, until next time when you are going to see us on the red carpet and you receive your galactic stardust hug. Goodbye.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Marina. Bye-bye. You take care now. Keep
Thank you so much.
smiling.
I will. I can't stop smiling.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.